Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Kathleen. How are you doing today? Seriously, comment down below telling me how you're doing. Because, like, if you're doing good, awesome. If you're not, tell me what's up. Hopefully this video can make your day a little better. So today I am going to be creating this beautiful golden, kind of like sunset-y toned eye look using the James Charles palette, which, by the way, bomb. Love it. Live for it. We're just gonna hop right into the video, I guess. Subscribe. I got it. I'm literally so excited to get my hands on the James Charles Morphe palette. My best friend actually texted me while I was at work because I was at work when, you know, the palette restocked this last time. And she was like, so you know how you said you wanted the James Charles Morphe palette? And I was like, yeah. She's like, pretty sure I just bought the last one. And I'm like, no you didn't. And she was like, yes I did, and sent me like a snapshot of the order confirmation. I was like, I love you. So I'm really excited. So this is what I'm going to be using today. Plus I'm probably going to throw in a couple of shadows from the Jaclyn Hill palette just because I like some of her transition colors that she has in there. But mostly it's going to be this bad boy. First things first. With a blendy brush, I'm going to be taking Silk Cream from Jaclyn Hill's palette, mostly because it's a really good beginning transition shade, and I don't know, I like it. It's a good color to start, you know, shadow blending with. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to start it right out in the outer crease, and then blend it into the crease there, and then once I know the shadow is mostly off the brush, I'm going to start blending it upwards towards the brow bone. And if you guys are like me, you're going to want to try to focus all of your transition shades and more along the lines of crease colors slightly above the crease. That way you can see them when your eyes open, because hooded eye problems. So I always tilt my head back. I just picked up the tiniest bit more, focusing it right in the crease area, and then blending it upwards. I tilt my head back instead of like lifting my eyebrows up, because if I lift my eyebrows up, I get really bad creasing in my forehead, and I haven't use setting spray yet, so don't want any creases. Okay, so the next shade that we're going in with is going to be from the James Charles palette. We're going to take this really bright yellow called B. Beautiful color, honestly. So I took some of B on my same blending brush. I tapped off the excess, just, you know, in case. And we're going to do basically the same thing that we did with Silk Cream and just put it in the transition area. So I'm just going to gently stamp it in there. And then we're going to blend. Mainly focusing it out on the outer edge. And once we know we got that color laid down, we'll start blending it upwards into the upper transition area. I know I'm so good at explaining things. So then also with my brush, I always like to feather it out just a little bit on the edge. That way you have a nice little shape to your eye. That makes it nice. So I'm also going to take some of Tune right here, which is in the third big pan. I'm going to mix it with a little bit of B just to get a little bit more of a neutrally toned to it, and we're going to go over the same area. I always dot it first just to make sure I got that color right where I want it to be. Just blend that out into this orange color right here called 518. Beautiful orange, I love it. And you know what, actually changed my mind. I'm going to use my same blending brush because I want it to go into kind of the same area as the yellow, just a little bit lower. So I dipped in, got some on my brush, tap off the excess, and we're going to do the same exact thing. We're just trying to build that color up, get a nice transition from the yellow to the orange. I'm not going to be blending this as far up as I did with the yellow. It's going to just chill a little bit lower. That way it kind of looks like we're going from the yellow into the orange. So now with our finer blending brush, we're going to go into Code James, and we're going to focus that even lower into the crease. Get a little bit of that on this brush. Get some of that excess off, and we're going to do the same thing that we've been doing. Focus it right there in that crease, and then blending it out. I'm going to take my Real Techniques contour brush that you guys know I use to set under my eyes. I'm just going to keep gently wiping away under the eyes, just in case, because if there's one thing we all learned from the Jaclyn Hill Blending 101 video, it's that fallout can ruin anything. So I'm going to take my original brush, I'm going to dip in just a little tiny bit into B. I'm actually going to have a lot on my brush, so I'm just going to tap a little bit off, and then I'm going to go back in and just gently blend that, just to make sure we don't have any harsh lines. That yellow is still present, because the yellow is the beginning to our color scheme, and we want to make sure that color is represented. So now that we've gone this far, we've got basically our entire transition shades done. So what I'm going to be doing is grabbing this flat kind of packer brush. It is a little bit fluffy, so it's going to be good for a little bit of blending. So with that brush, we're going to be going into 10% off. Just going to dip in a little bit, because it's easy to add more color than it is to take it away. So I'm going to tap off the excess, and what we're going to do is we're going to focus. So what we're going to do is we're going to pat this right on the outer corner, tilting your head back, that way you don't get any creases or anything, and we're going to just stamp it, and then we're going to start blending it. Blending it right up to that crease, and blend it out. And dip in just a little bit more. We're going to move it. We're going to do this about a little over halfway into the eye. So we're just going to do the same thing, tap it, so you know that shade is mostly off your brush, and then we're going to just bring it in, blending. And as you can see, it gets from really pretty dark out in the outer corner to very faintly there on the inner corner, which is exactly what we want. We want it to be a nice change of tone from the inside all the way to the outside. Now, if you wanted to stop here, this would be beautiful. Like, add a little bit of an inner corner highlight. Ooh, this look would be bomb, honestly. But I don't want to stop just yet. So, if I want to do a little touch of yellow on the inner corner, I think that would look really pretty. So what I'm going to do is dip back into B, but with like a pencil brush. This is kind of a thicker pencil brush. I am going to tap off the excess, like always. I'm just gonna dot this right here in this inner corner. I'm gonna take the brush that I used to put 10% off on my lid. I'm gonna just wipe it off on a paper towel that I have right next to me, and I'm gonna use that to put B right in the inner corner. Just gonna gently tap it directly in the inner corner, and then we're going to blend it towards Code James. Also going to blend it just up a little bit. I'm just barely touching into Code James. Barely. I'm just going to blend right on the lid. That way that yellow has a nice change into the orange, and then so on and so forth. Okay, so the eyelids are pretty well done. I think I might add just a tiny bit of a dark brown to the lash line just to make it a little bit darker. So what we're going to do is we're going to dip into this color right here called No Beans. I'm using a flat kind of packing brush because I don't really have many things dedicated to liner, and this one I find is actually really easy to use for that. So I dipped into No Beans, tapped off the excess, and all I'm going to do is just gently rub it into the lash line. Not rub it, I'm mostly going to just like dot it on there. Just a little bit, you don't need to go crazy on it. So now we're going to go for the lower lash line. What we're going to do is using the same flat packer that we used to pack on code James and 10% off. We are going to take a touch of B on it, just on one side of it. We're going to put that side that we dipped into it facing upwards. We're going to run that along the lower lash line. You don't have to be perfect on this. The point for the yellow is to be the base, and then we'll build off of it for all the other colors. So now that we got B on the lower lash line, we're going to dip into Code James, and we're going to do the exact same thing, except we're going to focus it just a little bit closer to the lash line. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take another flat shading brush. This is a no name, I don't even remember where I got it, but it works really well for the lower lash line. And we're going to go into 10% off. And this we're going to focus directly onto the lash line. Try to make sure that color stays as close to the lash line as possible. And with this one, I'm not going all the way in, I'm going only about halfway in to my eye. The other colors we went a little bit further in, but this one we're only going to do halfway because we don't want to close our eyes off a little too much. So now with that same brush that we used for the first two colors for the lash line, we're just going to make sure that's blended out. So there is the eyes all done. Beautiful. I'm just going to curl my lashes, throw a little bit of mascara on because the girl's lashes are not exactly black. And then I will be right back. For the first time, and what seemed like forever, I was putting my fake lashes on and I looked in the mirror and I'm like, this looks better without fake lashes. So I just did mascara and it looks really good, so I'm in it. So now I'm going to just bronze up my face using my go-to bronzer, Wet n Wild Color Icon in Ticket to Brazil. I'm just going to warm my face up a little bit because I look a little pale, a little flat. Then I'm going to go in with blush. I've got like a toss-up for blush. I'm not entirely sure what color I want to use. I'm either going to go with Luminoso or I'm going to go with Coral from Maybelline. I think I'm going to go with Luminoso. Mostly because I feel like it's a little bit more along the orangey side. Just going to put that on my cheeks. So now we're going to finish off the highlighting portion of the eyes because I'm a dum-dum and forgot. So we're going to be taking this little flat e.l.f. packer brush. It's really, really tiny. It's an itty bitty little brush. We're going to go into face. I'm going to dip into face a little bit. Just a tiny bit. I'm going to dot that right here in the inner corner. Just to add a little bit of light to right there. I am using it dry. Now, I know that if I were to use this wet, I would get a lot more color payoff. But I feel like dry, it gives you plenty of glow. I'm also going to take face right up here onto my brow bone, just a tiny bit. Now for highlighting, I'm going to be extra and do 2 highlighters, because why not? So I'm going to be taking the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder in Precious Petals. I really like this because it has a nice golden hue. I'm going to dip in with my favorite highlighting brush. You guys know how much I love this brush. We're going to focus this right here on the cheeks. So I'm going to get my Cupid's bow, tip of my nose right here between the eyes, because I feel like that's a spot that really helps make your face look like good. So, right there. I'm going to go into the Wet n Wild Loose Highlighting Powder in So Lit. Now, if you watched my last video, which would have been up Monday, I said I was unsure about this highlighter. Now, I figured out a way to use it that isn't going to make it look bad and just like chunky glitter on your face. You use a highlighter first, and then you go in with a little bit of this right on top to just emphasize that highlighter. Oh. And it just goes into the skin and just looks like you just bathed yourself in gold. I'm gonna just lightly touch the tip of my nose because I don't need to be like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, except, you know, gold. But I'm fine with my Cupid's bow being super blinding. Now for lips, I'm kind of on the fence. Let me just scrape some of this gross dead foundation skin off. Ugh. So for lips, I'm very torn. Like, I kind of want to do a orange red to tie it together. I kind of want to do a nude. So I'm going to line my lips with the Maybelline Color Sensational Shaping Lip Liner in clear, because this is a bomb lip liner and I can use it with any color I want. So I'm going to pop on a little bit of the Rimmel Lasting Finish by Kate lipstick in 45. I'm just going to do a little bit of it. I'm not going to worry about making sure it's fully opaque. Why does this always happen to me? I don't like it. Lipstick's coming off. Okay, so I just took all that lipstick off. Put some chapstick on because my lips are dry. But we're still gonna go in with some lip gloss because I want a nice glossy look, and this has a nice peach color to it. Love it. So it's Pixie by Petra lip gloss in Honey Sheen. Also has a little bit of glitter, which is gonna make your lips look extra juicy. And and there we go. That's everything. We're done with this look. So that's it. That's the whole look. I'm so happy to get this palette because honestly, it's like the most multi-use palette. It has so many different colors in it. It has the neutrals, it's got the bright colors, you can glitter, whatever you want. It's like fabulous, and also blends beautifully. It's insane. No wonder it took me 3 restocks to get it. Like, I see you guys. You guys know what good quality is. If you like this video, give it a big old thumbs up. Subscribe to see more content from me. I post every Monday, then the occasional Thursday. Kind of like today's video, you know. Whenever I get the time and I feel like, you know, extra videos are fun, I do them. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go meet my friends for dinner. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!